Hi, this is Eric for the Chapter 3 assignments, the arithmetic programs. First one is the basic arithmetic, the adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. I think that was it. So yeah, here we go. Made the class arithmetic there. Integer commands for number 1 and number 2. The two numbers are going to be added together. So I also made an integer for sum, which is going to be the product of those two added together. One for product, which is multiplication. One for difference, which is subtraction, and one for quotient, which is dividing. So first thing I did is I made a console write line. Enter first integer is what you're gonna see when the program starts. And that prompts me to enter whatever number I want. That number is going to be committed to memory because of this command right here. And memory is going to read it. Then I'm going to enter in the second number. Same stuff's going to happen. And then it knows that sum here is equal to this. These two integers. So then it will write back that sum is whatever this equation is. And the same are repeated for all the other functions right here. So let's go ahead and start that. First integer, let's do 25. Second, we'll do 25 again. So as you can see, the sum is 50. That's number 1 and number 2 added together. The product is 625. That's those two right there multiplied together. Number 1 and number 2 multiplied together. And number 3 is 0, or difference is 0. That's right here. And quotient divisible by is 1. That's here. And it worked. So there we go. So there's that first one. Let's see. I call this one arithmetic means because we've used averages, and I just associate means and averages together, so it was easy for me to remember, so that's why I named it that. So let's open that up. I think I opened up twice. There we go. Close that. Okay, so I think I have these out of order here. I want to do this one first. Sorry about that. So this is the one where we're comparing greater than, less than. So as you can see, I named it compare, so I know what I'm doing right off the bat. So I'm just going to have your first integers here, number 1, number 2, pretty basic. Number 1 automatically committed to memory, number 2 is going to be committed to memory, and the console is going to read those back. So I have my if statements. So if number 1, first integer, is equal to, that's what this means here, to number 2, then it will show that 1 is greater, or 1 is equal to number 2. If number 1 is not equal to number 2, it will write out number 1 not equal to number 2. That's what these are here for, to remind me what 0 and 1 are. Not to remind me, but to let the console know I know what they are. That's why I separate them. And then also a good rule of thumb is to, I didn't do it here, but if you have a lot of code going on, to indent your if statements so they're easier to read. And then if number 1 less than number 2, write it out like that. That's how it's going to write it out. I should put a space in there. If number 1 greater than number 2, write it out number 1 greater than number 2. So let's go and start that. $55, $30. 55 is not equal to 30. 55 is greater than 30. So that works. Alright, and then we're going to go to what I called before the means, where we took averages and all that. So you can see arithmetic mean. So when I have all my integers set right off the bat, I know what I have to define in the program. So I have to define number 1, 2, 3. I have to define what sum is, what product is, what the average is, and what the highest and what the lowest number is. So number 1 is committed to memory, number 2 committed to memory, number 3 committed to memory. And then this is where all the equations break down. So this here is, of course, where adding numbers takes place. So sum will be whatever number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3 is. Multiply, which is product, is whatever number 1 multiplied by number 2 multiplied by number 3 is. Average, number 1 plus number 2 plus number 3 divided by 3. And then highest and lowest. So highest equals number 1. So this assigns integer for highest value. So if number 2 is greater than highest than number 1, then the highest number will be number 2. If number 3 is greater than highest, the highest is number 3. I was going to try to throw in some else statements, but it's kind of confused me the last day of class that we did, and it might be longer writing it out like this, but that's the way I felt comfortable doing it. So basically the same concept here for here, and this is going to be my return. It'll say of all 3 numbers the highest is, and of all 3 numbers the lowest is out here. So, and yeah, this I just keep adding to my stuff because it closes real quick and I don't see what's going on if I don't add that. So I'm pretty sure everyone else ran into that problem. So let's go ahead and start that. First integer, let's do 35, 45, 55. So the sum of all 3 added up together, 135. All 3 of those multiplied together is 86,625. The average of all 3 of those is 45. And of all 3 numbers, the highest is 55. That is correct. Of all 3 numbers, the lowest is 35. That is also correct. So that one worked too. So this was fun. It took me a little longer than usual. But after writing this code over and over and over again, it's getting stuck in my memory. So I guess that's a good thing. So there we go. Hope